Hey guys, how's it going, fam? Hope you guys are doing great. I don't see any reason why you guys shouldn't be doing great. Not only is this beautiful outside, but on top of that, you're gonna be treated to a great show today. What we want to know today, because we've been hearing everywhere about that question: who's the baddest man on the planet? Is it Francis the Predator Ngannou? Or is it that fraud of a champion, John P.E.D. Jones, the UFC heavyweight P.E.D. champion? Who is it? Who is the baddest man on the planet? So we're going to try to put that question to rest and answer it, right? So basically, a lot of people are talking about this, are talking about, okay, John Jones is the GOAT of this, the GOAT of that. In my opinion, a cheater shouldn't be the goat of anything. A cheater shouldn't have a belt. Cheater shouldn't be, first of all, shouldn't compete, right? But it seems like on the UFC side, they're seeing it from another eye, and they welcome all these guys that are cheating, that are taking PEDs, that are committing domestic violence, that are doing hit and run, crashing into cars, and running away from the scene without facing their responsibilities, and most definitely without assisting the people that they crashed in with, who in that case for Mr. John P.E.D. Jones was a pregnant woman, right? So what, very honorable for the type of for an MMA champ, seems like MMA champion, which is kind of, to me, a little bit surprising, because a champion of the UFC, you see it more like the kind of guy that is going to be patient, that maybe is violent in the octagon, but respect his opponent. When he's outside, try to defend the poor, the needy, the weak, and not put them in trouble or run away like he has been doing during that hit and run, right? Like a little coward. If I think that's the word that we're talking about here. So now, who is the baddest man on the planet? Let's answer that question. Let's leave aside the fact that he is a cheater, and that normally we shouldn't even be talking about him, and that the UFC shouldn't even have him in its roster and as a champion to carry out their brand, to be the poster boy of their brand, approved by Dana White. What can I say? I can't get over it. It's totally crazy. Yes, let's go. Who is the baddest man on the planet? Well, if you take it logically, the baddest man on the planet is Francis Ngannou. I'm giving it straight up to you, 100. I'm being real with you. Why? And I'm going to explain it to you why. Francis Ngannou was the heavyweight champion of the UFC. He has obtained that title by beating Stipe Miocic by knockout, right? That's correct. Back in the days, what they used to think is that the UFC had the best fighters, MMA fighters in the world, cross organization, right? Even if they didn't have to prove it, that's what the general belief or consensus was, that the UFC had the best fighters, the best MMA fighters. That's what it was. So based on that assumption alone, the older champion of the UFC were considered the best champion in MMA, and the heavyweight champion was considered as the baddest man on the planet, right? Since the assumption was that the heavyweight champion of the UFC was the best champion across all the different promotion, the PFL, Bellator, and so on and so forth. Okay. Now, what did happen? What happened now is that, okay, Francis Ngannou got his freedom, left the UFC. So what he did, he released the belt, right? But by him leaving the UFC, it is a proof that at least in the heavyweight division, the UFC doesn't have the best fighter. Now, since they say that back in the days, back then, if you were the heavyweight champion of the UFC, you were the best, then you were the baddest man on the planet. Okay? It means that Francis Ngannou leaving the UFC means that the UFC don't no longer have that baddest man on the planet, and that baddest man on the planet has signed with the PFL, and now the baddest man on the planet is sitting with the PFL, waiting for someone to try to dethrone him. And as long as no one has dethroned him, he will remain the baddest man on the planet. It's as simple as that. So what did break the chain? What broke the chain is that the assumption that they had that the best fighters were in the UFC has been proven wrong. And it's a fact. Why? Because at least in the heavyweight division, we know that is not the case. Now we can see, and I mean, you can disagree all you want. I'm telling you, all the little followers of the UFC, Dana White, little butt leakers, the little Chelsonen, like, you know, the cheerleaders of the UFC, Brendan Schaubman. You can disagree all you want, Michael Bisping, but that's the reality. As simple as that, it's fact, right? Now, what they're trying to do, obviously, they're trying to discredit the guy. I'm not even going to go into that path where we're going to talk about, okay, he's scared, he's not scared, whatever. That's not even what I'm talking about. What they're trying to do is trying to say that, in any case, we have the GOAT, the pound for pound best fighters in the pound for pound best MMA fighter anyway, who's now he's the champion of the heavyweight champion of the UFC. So now, by I don't know what type of relation linking, mathematic, I don't know, now it is him who is the baddest man on the planet, because pound for pound seems like he's the best. That's what they're saying. Okay, that's what they're saying. Now just look at this that I'm showing you right here. First of all, again, I just want to outline and to show you and to tell you who that guy really is. He's a cheater. And if you see Daniel Cormier cry, he's crying his life out. Why? Because he works his butt off to face a cheater who took performance enhancing drugs that beat him and was not natural. Daniel Cormier spent countless hours training, right, to be beaten by a phony champion that is carrying the flag of the UFC. I mean, that's what the UFC is all about now. That's what we're talking about. You know, a woman beater, right? Perpetrator of domestic violence, hit and run perpetrator, leaving the scene of the crash, not facing responsibilities as a champion should, not assisting the woman he crashed in, a pregnant woman, by the way. That's a champion for you. That's an honorable champion for you that is backed up by Chelsonen, Dana White, backed up by... That's crazy, guy. That's crazy, people. I don't get it. I mean, that's just crazy. A cheater. That's just crazy. But in any case, let's leave that aside, right? And let's be realistic and look at his record, right? Now, we can say that if you want, all the believers and all that don't care about cheaters, people that take performance enhancing drugs, because again, like I was saying in one of my videos, you take performance enhancing drug, you get caught once, you can say that maybe it wasn't your fault. You know, somebody gave you something to drink or eat, or you took some pills that you weren't supposed to take. Once, it's good, it's okay. But when you do it twice, people start to think, at least guys like me start to think twice, in things like that serious, with implications that are that serious. I'm starting to ask myself question, right? And then I look at the track record of the dude, and you see that the dude is a type of egotistic type of guy that thinks that he's above the law, that it is not the first time he has other stuff like DWI, he got domestic violence in it, he choked a woman in a strip club, slapped her, and I mean, the guy definitely think that he's above the law. And what does the UFC does? They reward him for that. They tell him, come on home, boy. This is your home, right? We're going to make you our poster boy. We're going to make you the guy that carry our brand. We're going to give you a shitload of money. That's what they're doing. That's what they're saying, right? To this guy who is nothing but a criminal, who is nothing but a cheater, who is nothing but a fraud of a champion, right? Shouldn't even call it a champion. So here we go. We got on one side John Nose Jones, or Jones Chicken Jones, or Jones Boneless Jones. We got him here, right? How many fights does he have at heavyweight? He got one fight at heavyweight. Took him 2 minutes to submit Cyril Gane. He's got one fight at heavyweight, right? 2 minutes to submit someone who is not a complete fighter. Even the cheerleaders of the UFC are saying that. Don't take it from me, since maybe I'm not that, credible because I don't suck the teats of the UFC. No, don't take it from me. Take it from Michael Bisping. That's what Michael Bisping is saying. That this guy, okay, he likes Cyril Gane, but he has to admit that Cyril Gane, he's not that complete of a guy, right? That's what he's saying. So don't take it from me. So it took him 2 minutes to submit him. And you want to compare that guy, right, to someone. And when I'm talking about Francis Ngannou, you can put Stipe Miocic. That's the same type of speech that I was going to take for him as well. He has 20 fights at heavyweight. We're not talking about one fight. He has 20 fights at heavyweight, fighting all types of heavyweight. Guys that are heavy, tall, that have heavy hands, knockout power, that are hard wrestler, that are kickboxers. All you want, he has faced them, right? 20 heavyweight fight on one side, and on the other side, you're talking about one fight. And you want to call that guy the baddest man on the planet because he beat Cyril Gane, who's not a complete fighter? Are you guys joking? I mean, this is not serious. And on top of that, what do you see here, right? When you're looking at these at these victories, right? You see Stipe Miocic, right? Second round at 52 seconds. Okay. Cyril Gane, that was the longest, right? He had a busted knee, by the way. And again, like I was saying, he gave the blueprint to how to beat Cyril Gane. With his busted knee, he out wrestled the guy. And Francis Ngannou is not really known that much for his wrestling. At least, let's say that John P.E.D. Jones is a better wrestler than Francis Ngannou. That's what we would say. That would be logical. Now, he beat Serginho Rosenstruck in 22nd first round. Then he beat Junior Dos Santos, 1 minute 11 seconds, first round again. Cain Velasquez, 26 seconds, first round. Curtis Blades, 45th seconds, first round again, right? After that, you have the time that he got mixed up with Derek Lewis and Stipe Miocic, and then you got Oliver Alvarin, to who he almost decapitated the head in 1 minute 42 seconds of the first round. Andrei Arlovski, first round, 1 minute and 32 seconds, right? Now, you got a guy that hit hard. And if you look at the stats of Stipe Miocic, it's not exactly the same, but it's not far from this. A lot of TKOs in the first round, a lot of quick victories. Now, you look at this guy, right? First of all, and I'm saying, first of all, these are all heavyweight. These are all dangerous people. These are all tall guys with long limbs, right? Not the guys that he's been fighting that are average size of 5'11", 6'1" max, right? That's no. That's not the same thing. You got 6'4", you got 6'3", you got 240, 250 pounder here, right? Over there you got 205 pounder, right? That are facing someone that walks in the street at 230 who has to cut to go down to 205. You need to realize that. You need to be logical, right? You need to realize that. And when you look at this, can you tell me something that you noticed? No, you can't, because you're blinded by your love of Dana, or because, man, it's too dark in Dana's butt. But look at this, right? Even in light heavyweight, it takes him 5 to 3 rounds to get his victory. Basically, he is Mr. Decision, right? Even at light heavyweight, he doesn't carry. First of all, he does not have the power, right? And at light heavyweight, he didn't receive the type of punching power that he would receive in the heavyweight division, right? So you got here a guy that doesn't have any power really to go in the heavyweight division and try to knock someone out. Basically, he has to outlast him. That's how it is. If he wants to win, he has to outlast him. You're going to tell me, and I'm not sure about that this guy, the P.E.D champion, John P.E.D Jones, is able to beat all of the guys that Francis Ngannou has beaten here. I have my doubts. I need someone to prove me that he can actually beat those guys, because to me it's not even sure, right? So the thing that I wanted to show you is that, man, it takes him 5 to 3 rounds. A guy that have 84-inch reach and 6'4", who's stronger than normally the opponents that he meets, right? And you're going to tell me that this guy is going to beat like all the different heavyweight that are here, and that this guy, you should consider him the baddest man on the planet in front of a guy like Francis Ngannou, who has made his career, who has ruled that division for years. You guys are crazy. You guys don't know shit. I was scared to say that, but you guys don't know shit. That's it. That's all. That's for sure. You don't know anything. So I'm telling you again. Put that discussion to rest. Right? If you want to call someone the baddest man on the planet, logically, it is Francis Ngannou, for the first thing that I told you about the assumption that the UFC heavyweight champion was considered the best MMA fighters in the world. So that best MMA fighters in the world has left the UFC. So he's still the best fighter in the world, right? So he has broken the mold, right? He has broken it. And at least he has broken it for the heavyweight division. We know now that in the heavyweight division, the best fighter in the world is not in the UFC anymore. He's out. He's in the PFL. That's it. That's all, right? Now, I'm going to tell you guys something. I was telling you about that cheater, that fraud of a champion that is Jon Jones, right? We've been hearing a lot of stuff about Stipe Miocic, and I've been alluding to that a lot of time, right? What do you think that he's not fighting Stipe Miocic? You guys think that he's going to fight Stipe Miocic? Or at least that they know why he's going to let him fight Stipe Miocic? Are you crazy? It's kind of their insurance policy. Their insurance policy is to have a little bit of credibility to say that they have the best heavyweight champion in the world. Do you think that he's going to submit Stipe Miocic in 2 seconds, in 2 minutes? Are you guys drinking? What have you got? Be realistic, right? He is not going to fight Stipe Miocic. I'm telling you, and you'll come back and you'll tell me. And if he fights him, that's where people are going to realize that, Jon Jones the GOAT. I don't think so. Between light heavyweight and heavyweight, there is a difference. And I'm telling you, he has not felt yet the power of an heavyweight. He has not felt yet the punching power of an heavyweight. I'm telling you that. So he can keep hiding. He can keep talking trash from across the street. But we know who he is. At least I know who you are. You're just a fraud. Jon Jones is just a fraud. So let's leave that to rest, people. We know who the baddest man of the planet is. The rest is just history, right? So thanks, guys.